This is Inside Indiana Business Radio for the afternoon of Tuesday, March 7th, 2023. I'm Alex Brown. BP is looking to create its own hydrogen hub at the 133-year-old Whiting refinery as the state also seeks to put itself on the map for clean hydrogen production. Vice President Damian Bilbao said the company is already in action on the potential for hydrogen at the Northwest Indiana plant.
As you might imagine, something of this scale with this price tag takes a little bit of time before you can get all the ducks in a row to be able to make a decision. And then the goal is to be able to start producing clean hydrogen before the end of the decade. So let's say around end of 2028. Let's use our project in Eastern England, Teesside, as an example. At Teesside, we've announced that we're progressing a hydrogen project near an industrial site. That should sound familiar to folks familiar with Northwest Indiana. And that project in Eastern England is hiring thousands of jobs for construction, up to close to 10,000, in fact. A couple thousand jobs long-term for operation, billions of dollars of investment. And that's a good analog to what we would expect or what we would do in Northwest Indiana.
Bilbao said the project in Whiting presents a strong opportunity for decarbonization in the region, which has a strong manufacturing base. Indianapolis-based Elevate Ventures has released the results of an annual report that provides a year-end assessment of venture capital activity in the state. It shows VC investment topped $1 billion for the second straight year, with 190 deals generated, the majority of which were between $1 and $5 million. Elevate Ventures says there were 23 later-stage investments valued at more than $10 million each. The organization says those bigger amounts reflect a maturing venture ecosystem in the state. Elkhart-based Thor Industries is reporting fiscal second quarter net income of $27 million, down from $266 million the previous year. CEO Bob Martin said the quarter saw a significant slowdown in both sales and production, but the RV maker believes the softening demand will be temporary. From the number one source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
Get ready, Southwest Indiana. We're headed your way. IBJ Media, Inside Indiana Business, and the Indiana Economic Development Corporation invite you to the second annual Engage Southwest Indiana event presented by Indiana University and Old National Bank, Tuesday, April 11th at the Old National Events Plaza in Evansville. We'll be diving into regional and statewide initiatives with a focus on talent, education, and issues shaping our economy. It's all about advancing the future of Indiana. More at ibj.com/engage.
Farmer confidence is shrinking heading into a busy season. Inside Indiana business reporter Wes Mills has the story.
The Purdue University CME Group Ag Economy Barometer dipped 5 points in February as farmers expressed concern about higher cost for the upcoming planting season, shrinking confidence in future growth of U.S. agricultural exports, and weakening farmland values. The negative outlook is exacerbated by the U.S. Department of Agriculture's most recent farm sector income forecast, which is a broad measure of profits. USDA economists are forecasting an approximate 16% decrease from last year. Despite strong farm income in 2022, 72% of producers said it's a bad time to make large investments in their farming operation, while just 15% reported it's a good time to make such investments. Of those who said now is a bad time to make large investments, 45% said it was because of an increase in prices for farm machinery and new construction. Jim Mintert, director of the Purdue Center for Commercial Agriculture, says farmers continue to point to concerns about higher input cost, with 38% of respondents saying it's their top concern. And 24% said rising interest rates is their biggest challenge for the year ahead. Wes Mills, Inside Indiana Business Radio.
A partnership between Franciscan Health Rensselaer and Jasper County-based nonprofit Appleseed Childhood Education is helping to fill a void in the city, a licensed early childhood education center. After a 3-year effort, the partners this week announced the opening of Appletree Rensselaer. It is the first licensed education center in the city of 6,100. The new daycare center is located on the hospital campus and provides weekday care for up to 75 children ages 6 weeks through 5 years old. The partners say the new facility doubles the number of licensed childcare seats in the county for infants, toddlers, and preschool-age children. Recent research on the value of a 4-day work week conducted in the United Kingdom is prompting conversations here. Researchers at two of the leading business schools in Indiana say certain industries should seriously examine the paradigm shift in what is considered a traditional work week. Kate Zippe, a professor of organizational behavior and human resources in the Mitch Daniels School of Business at Purdue University, said a 4-day work week helps remove personal chaos from a worker's life and could develop loyalty to the company.
Employees are less likely to be burned out. They're less likely to resent their organizations. They're less likely to lie when they have to take care of their kids or have to go to these appointments. And so they create a stronger relationship with their organization.
The pilot study involved more than 60 businesses with approximately 3,000 workers. The results showed 91% of companies intend to definitely continue with the abridged work week. 4% said they were leaning towards continuing the practice, and another 4% said they would not continue. First Lady Jill Biden was in Valparaiso Monday, touting the Biden administration's career training efforts. Lakeshore Public Radio's Michael Gallenberger reports.
The First Lady met with students and faculty in Ivy Tech Community College's Renewable Energy program. She says community colleges are a big part of her husband's efforts to rebuild the middle class.
This program is giving them good paying jobs and protecting the planet for the next generation.
Biden was joined by a number of federal and local officials, including U.S. Deputy Secretary of Energy David Turk and Deputy Secretary of Labor Julie Su, who's also President Joe Biden's nominee for Labor Secretary. The U.S. Department of Labor has awarded $95 million to community colleges since September 2022, including $1.6 million to Indiana's Ivy Tech campuses. For Lakeshore News, I'm Michael Gallenberger.
White River State Park Executive Director Jake Oakman is this week's guest on the Business and Beyond podcast with Gary Dick, presented by PNC, a weekly conversation with high-profile Hoosiers in business, sports, and entertainment, and beyond. Available now from your favorite podcast provider. I'm Alex Brown for Inside Indiana Business Radio on Demand.